trying to copy the link so I can share it with people. Right. That's not the link I'm looking for. Right. Right. So right now, I just want us to look at currency pairs, specifically USDJPY, because gold right now, it's definitely misbehaving. So I just want us to look at USDJPY at the moment. So currently, I think we need to just do a market breakdown so that we can get, or rather just do I definitely want us to do a market breakdown on gold and also USDJPY so that we can know what are we looking at for this coming week, because obviously it's Saturday. We just need to just now look at the market while it's still stationary, look at what has been happening this previous week. And obviously this is all of my setups that I've been trading on gold. Some of them were just part of me analyzing, just trying to check what's going on. So one of the other ways to be able to trade gold is by doing the following: is you understanding what's going on under 15 minutes time frame, and then you can then lower it to smaller time frames as much as possible, because as I always mention, you need to know how to trade gold systematically. When I say systematically, it means that you need a way of trading, having a systematic stop loss and a systematic approach of getting your exit points. But right now, I'm not here to talk about that part. But now, looking at gold currently, especially under smaller time frames, because before I can go to hourly high time frames, I just want to show you a trick or something here on TradingView. If you look at the technicals on TradingView specifically there, and you look at all time frames starting from 1 minute, you can see they're saying it's a buy. 5 minutes it's another strong buy, then you go to 15 minutes, it's a strong buy. 30 minutes it's a buy. 1 hour it's a buy as well. 2 hours. So basically on all time frames until to the last being monthly time frame, gold is definitely a buy. So it's quietly going to become difficult for most people to get entries, right? Either being selling opportunities or being buying opportunities. It's going to be hard for people to actually get around those part, right? But right now what I'm going to mention is that for the fact that we're having gold on a very long term buy at this point, I just want us to go to higher time frames such as daily, no, weekly time frame, because I was looking at a weekly time frame, right? I was looking at a weekly time frame. The way I trade, right? The way I trade is in a sense of there are, how do I put this? There has to be a reference to where I'm going to exit in terms of how I trade. But currently, even when you scroll down or scroll outside or zoom out on the charts, we don't have any reference for any exit points from the previous market, right? So currently it's like right now gold is just setting up new high records, which makes it difficult for us to target new highs or anything. So basically each and every target that we want would be from investors' point of view. Understand? It's what are investors looking at in terms of gold, you understand? So but from my side, I'll tell you is currently obviously looking at how I trade. If I had to utilize the use of what do you call this thing, the utilization of trend lines, specifically trend lines at this point would do us good. You can take a look at how price has been moving. I'm gonna show you how we go about that part. Is okay, we do have this part. This is monthly time frame. I know we need to be trading gold on a smaller time frame, but I want you to understand how long are we looking at gold pushing. We may be even trading above 2600, because you can see like the last highest high that we had was about was around 25,600. That was the last high that we had this previous days, but currently we may be even trading above that price. I know I kept on mentioning that we do have a price right about 2400 and something, somewhere around 2450 or something, somewhere around here. I will show you the price that I was actually talking about. But if we look at gold on a monthly time frame, we do have a weak high, a weak high, yes, a weak high followed by another weak high. And then if you co-join these highs, two highs, and then you look at this price in terms of breakout and possibly breakout and a retest, or a breakout engulfing push into the upside, you can see that on a monthly time frame gold is not it doesn't even show any signs of actually retaining anytime soon on under a high time frame. You understand? So it means that currently what you have to just keep in mind is that we may definitely still be trading above the 2600 on gold, right? So whatever that you do on gold this coming week, I'm still gonna say that as much as we are looking for a drop or anything like that, we're looking for selling opportunities. To be honest, from my side, I was actually looking for selling opportunities, but according to our price is, yeah, we are not having any luck on terms of like selling opportunities. Because one thing for sure, look at each and every high that gold kept on marking from PPI, since PPI, right? Since from PPI, if you look at what was happening since PPI, we had a weak high, right? We had a weak high from this point. So we had a weak high that was marked out before PPI, which price later on respected during the news release, right? Price went even up and up. So ever since PPI, not even just ever since, because PPI was released on Friday, right? So each and every hour of the each and every last hour of that day, it kept on leaving weak highs each and every time. It each and every hour it kept on leaving weak highs. And what you also need to check is that currently, right, which is Friday, which is the previous Friday that we just had, right, a few hours ago, right, we had our weak high. Currently right here we had our weak high, which most of you guys might have actually had a chance to trade that gold setup, this buy gold setup with me on Instagram, right? So we did manage to actually trade that buy, but the only problem became when I was actually thinking, not even, let me not say thinking, but rather thought of like possibly maybe we may get some rejections around this point that was gonna push gold even lower. Unfortunately, gold did not give us any confirmations of selling at any point, but we did try. In the VIP group, I don't want to lie, in the VIP group I did have a setup around here of a selling setup. Unfortunately, because I saw that price was actually trying to push back, that's when I saw that gold is not even coming back to the key levels, because we also under smaller time frames. Let me go to smaller time frames and show you where did I actually have my sell entries from. Right, I had my sell entries with people in the VIP. Let me just show you here. You guys are gonna see my charts here. Okay, it's not a problem. Let me just show you my charts here on in the VIP group. Let me just show you the charts in the VIP group. You guys are gonna see things that you mustn't see. So let me just show you the sell setup. So as you can see, this is the sell setup that I was looking at in the VIP group, right? This was the sell setup, and if you take a look at the sell setup, it was from this point, right? We were looking at a sell setup from around here. What am I doing? We're looking at a sell setup from around here, right? But because the current highs that we were having, we always go for 300 points on stop loss. Always know how much you are risking, or exactly how much you are not even willing to lose, but how are you approaching your trading. So I had we had at the setup starting from that area, and then our targets was exactly this point. You can still see here, I still have it marked out, which we will still leave it right there, because it may help us know how to trade gold in the near future, right? But then I was expecting rather I was looking at gold actually dropping until that area, but then it failed under some reasons of this, not even under some reasons, because we had a weak high above, which was in a sense of like, this was not a rejection low, right? So this was not a rejection low, I mean a rejection high, I meant to say. This was not a rejection high rather, but it was a weak high. So for the fact that it was a weak high, that's why you see that whatever sell that came about, we may have considered it as a scalp in that premium group. So we may have considered the sell as a what? We may have considered the sell as a scalp, because obviously when price started rejecting, then I saw, you know what, let's just close everything, because price was starting to push above, because we also had some candlestick confirmation, which is this one. I don't know the name of that candlestick, I don't want to lie, but then most certainly it says that gold was supposed to buy from there. Obviously that's when I saw that price is most definitely going to go back to our entry, because also we have a weak high right here. That's why that setup I had to remove it, because it doesn't mean anything. Or otherwise I could have just left the setup from here and just placed it like this, because it was not a losing trade. I could have done like this, like to say that the setup ended around here because I saw it when it had actually rejected afterwards, to say that the setup was no longer in play. So I could have just left the setup like that, but I rather remove it, because it wasn't much of a bigger deal. So I'm just gonna let it slide like that. But if you look at the current high, so what I want you to look at is the current high that we do have is the same high that we do have right here. It's the same highs that we do have right here. So even if I do like this, so it's for you to know what to look for next week, right? I want you to know Monday comes, you know what you're looking at. We also do have a week high around here. So you can see that this current Friday, right? You can see that this current Friday, the price at the moment, what happened is what? We have price just resting above on a weak high. So it means that currently Monday comes, the only thing that we're going to be looking at is the daily bias of gold. The daily bias of gold comes bullish. We will still consider continuously buying gold even higher, because as I did mention, we are now trading above 2600. So now we are trading above which price? We are trading above this price, 2600. So we are now resting above 2600, and the last price we may be looking for as a maybe if price then decides to not even decide, because it seems like it's talking to us, but if then price falls, so this is going to be your last area of you looking for a continuation to the upside as a form of a pull to the upside. So it means that you may be looking at price rejecting below this area and pushing above. But because of there are some other resting key levels that you need to also look at, which are this one. It can either respect this one or come and respect this one first, but either way there'll always be confirmations for you to actually go to do what. There'll always be confirmations for you to see if whether price is doing what, for you to see if whether price is either respecting this one or it's going to respect which one, or it's respecting this one first, right? Because there are certain confirmations that I look at. Unfortunately I cannot disclose them here, but what you're gonna look at is that there will always be rejection points that are gonna help you identify whether this rejection that we're looking at right here is holding or not. But at this point, what you're gonna be doing is look for continuation, which is under 15 minutes. Under 15 minutes, if price fails to on Monday, right? So if on Monday price fails to do the following, if on Monday price fails to drop, right? If on Monday price fails to drop to this area to come and reject from there, it's still okay. It's not a train smash. So it means that you have two key levels that you need to be focusing on right now, which will help you determine your second trade or maybe a continuation. So I'm going to identify 3 opportunities on gold that you need to look at in a sense of you trading it on Monday. So you have exactly, or not even just on Monday, the whole week you have 3, right? I'm just going to mention those 3 areas, right? This would be your first. If price does not respect it, this becomes your second. Now the third one comes from exactly a trend line way. So if you look at the 15 minutes time frame, we can only induce our trade from here. So keep in mind, under 3 minutes time frame, this is a weak high, right? And so for the fact that this is a weak high under a smaller time frame, you need to also consider that, because this, as much as it's a weak high under smaller time frame, it's a weak rejection high, to be exact. It's holding as a form of, if price then gives you a break above and a rejection, which can hold as a rejection high, then it means that you may be looking for selling opportunities after that. But then if price breaks above and doesn't give you any confirmations of rejections, it will continue pushing even higher and higher. But then here's how you're gonna also utilize the induce your third entry if price fails to drop, which is gonna be from here, but which is something that I want you to also just look at in terms of let's check 5 minutes to be exact. 5 minutes is gonna be helpful. Still the same thing, 5 minutes doesn't allow us to use that, which means we are strictly supposed to stand on 15 minutes. So that will be your last so what you need to understand is that if we are inducing our third entry to be possible, it means that you need to stick to the very same time frame. You cannot induce an entry from 15 minutes time frame and then you later on want to go check if whether you can enter in under 3 minutes. It means that if we are inducing a third entry that could be possible, you need to definitely look for confirmation in the very same time frame for it to hold. So what you're going to be looking at is, currently price hasn't yet even broken above, right, on gold. Currently, even under 15 minutes, price has not yet broke above. So what you're going to be doing, currently, for you to understand, this is a strong high. It's a strong high under 15 minutes, and this is a weak high under 15 minutes. So this is a what? This is a weak TRL, meaning it's a weak trend line. So for the fact that it's a weak trend line, it already tells us that price is going to push above. So for the fact that it's saying that price is going to push above, that on its own confirms that we do even have a weak high there under small time frame, that price needs to go and break and either then marks out a rejection high, which leads to sells, or it just keeps on pushing even higher. Understand? So here, what you're gonna do on this third induced entry is for you to wait for what? Is for you to wait for price to close above this trend, right? And then as soon as the candlestick that closes above, you're gonna look at the second candlestick that opens, right? So it's like exactly the second like the first candlestick that opens after the first candlestick that closes above that trend line. If it closes above the high of that candlestick, then it means that the price won't give you any form of retrace, or any form of a retest. So a retest only comes if there is no engulfing candlestick after a breakout. I hope that will make sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'll still urge you to join that IG lives or TikTok live so that you can understand them better as we go on, right? But then there is a certain criteria to go about you identifying if whether the entry is confirmed for you to go in or not. But at this point, I'm telling you that you will have to look at the first candlestick that opens after the candlestick that closes above. And then if it's an engulfing, then you know that price will continue pushing higher. And then if it does not give you an engulfing right after it closes above, then that's when you start. That's where we talk about what? That's where we talk about price giving us what? That's where we talk about price giving us a retracement. Bargaining a breakout and a retest. And then we can start looking at what? Exactly the same criteria. We will still be looking at it after the retest. When the retest happens, we still look for what? We still look for an engulfing candlestick that confirms momentum shift, and then it means then you can start looking for what? Then you can start looking for a continuation of price to the upside. Then you may start looking for continuation to the upside, and what's gonna happen is that your stop loss will be below will be below your engulfing candlestick, and then from there it will then be an open TP, because as I did mention, on gold currently we do not have any reference of exit areas in terms of highs, because it keeps on marking out higher highs. But I will still speculate currently. I'm not saying this is what's gonna happen, but I'll still speculate, since we are trading above 2600. We might even go 3000. We might but 3000 is too far. But maybe it's possible that we may be trading above, like currently whatever that happens on gold, we may be stuck above, like we may be stuck above this level. We may be trading above that level for this current until this month end, or even maybe going into the following month. Maybe we'll see how the first news report of the month, which will be non-farm payroll, we'll see how it affects gold in terms of structure, right? Because it doesn't really extend to anything, but we'll just see how it affects the structure on gold. But so far we are still trading above, so whatever that you do, just look for continuation, which is continuous buys. If you catch any sells, make sure that you go in and out, because clearly gold doesn't have any selling opportunities. As I did mention, when you have the time, go to your trading view and check this part. All of the technicals on gold, starting from your 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, all of your time frames as possible as you can. All of them, they are saying that gold is a buy. Should you trade against it, you are in it for a long one. So just make sure that you are not trading against what we already see, because obviously I will still keep dropping the daily bias for you to understand on how gold is looking daily, but just don't go against what the structure is saying. I was actually supposed to also do USDJPY, but then I do not have the time to do so. So what I'm gonna leave it right here, and we will look at USDJPY on Monday exactly. But for now, just make sure that you definitely consider looking at gold on yourself. Do your own analysis as well. Make sure that you are well prepared for Monday, and we shall meet on the lives that are coming. Otherwise, have a blessed one. This is a